Joining us now is a global affairs analyst, Chuks Mwoku. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
It's nice to have you join us. Thank you.
All right, there has been some reaction to the president's visit to South Africa. Some have said it's an insult, looking at what the instances that has led to this visit. How critical is this trip or meeting for the president? And
it's
the
critical.
Relationship.
Yeah, it portrays what I said the last time that I was here when we had the issues with South Africa. The action from our own side came late, but it was never too late. For me, it's not an insult. Somebody needs to provide the leadership. Somebody needs to show the way. These things are not eternal. We are not eternal enemies with South Africa. What has happened is no indication that peace has disappeared permanently. So this needs to happen. And what I'm looking forward to is what leadership do they bring to the table. I need to hear them speak. I need to observe their body language and all that, because this is very crucial for Africa. In fact, this is very, very important. I think the world should be watching what is going on in South Africa between today and Friday. It is so important because it will pave way for other things that will happen. We have had our leaders here in Nigeria sit back and watch what was going on in South Africa for more than 10 years. And this meeting is going to resolve a lot of the issues. What will come out of it will be an indication if we have really strong leadership in Africa.
All right, this is the first state visit after 2013 by a Nigerian president to South Africa. Now, this meeting was packaged, scheduled, and arranged shortly before the escalation of the xenophobic attacks. But if the presidents are going to discuss and talk, what do you think should be the guide? What do you think are the areas that they'll be looking at the meeting?
They should be, from my opinion, they should be looking at a lot of issues. The issues of poverty, the issues of justice, the fight against corruption should be moved to curbing corruption at its root. You can't be fighting this fight continually. It's good that in Nigeria is showing a good example in the fight of corruption, but it needs to be shifted to the base. What is the root cause of corruption? That needs to be addressed, and it will be a pointer to all the African nations. Has this been done before, where corruption has been curbed, and how? A good place where that example has been set is in China. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to, especially in the area of justice. It's been so slow, both here in Nigeria and South Africa. That needs to be taken care of. I expect two of them to sit down and ask the question that why is ABZ happening? Is it connected to slow dispensation of justice? That needs to be dealt with. Then the issue of poverty. We must not be talking about poverty, the headquarters of COP. We should also be looking at the root. The people need to get at work. So I expect them to sit down and fashion out how to deal with those two issues, the issue of dispensation of justice and poverty eradication, then corruption.
Now, speaking about justice, before now there were calls for compensation of those that were affected. With these two countries meeting now, should that still come up?
Yeah, it should come up. People should, there are consequences for actions. This Ramaphosa guy, the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, I sat down there. In fact, before him was Zuma. There was no evidence of leadership in terms of addressing those issues. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the leadership in South Africa, the ANC leadership and the political leadership, they supported what was going on by their body language. So there are consequences. And this is the place where I also expect the Nigerian leadership to put his feet down and provide leadership for us by saying, I need my people to be compensated. Because it took an ordinary Nigerian to show leadership by taking his plane to the place to go and evacuate the people. On a good day, if I was president, I would surrender what I have at the presidential fleet and go remove my people from that place, sending a strong signal to the people. Now, this is another opportunity to send another signal that we are not joking here. We have the power of unfair advantage. And when it mattered and when we showed it, there was a positive reaction for South Africa. So you will be asking for compensation for the people. I heard the governor of Lagos State gave returnees 20,000. That's what they should have done. As the people were coming back, they are handing them over, giving them money to come back and settle back here.
All right.
Chuks Nwoko, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you
for having me.
Right. Joining us in the studio now is Global Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko. Chuks, good morning. Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Same here.
All right. Now, Nigeria president, anytime the president of Nigeria and South Africa are meeting, everybody wants to know what they will be discussing and how it's going to rub off on the entire African continent. Is that what you're looking? Is that what you're expecting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when you mention Africa, the continent of Africa, what really comes to your mind? First is Nigeria, maybe South Africa, maybe Egypt. So it's a crucial meeting, and because of all the things that has happened in the last few months and weeks and all that, it's become very, very crucial that attention will be focused on those two young men. Whether they will be able to live up to that billing is a different thing entirely. But I pray for them, because if they miss this opportunity of providing that unique leadership that is expected of them at this point, it will be disappointing. However, this meeting should be able to ameliorate all the setbacks and all that. Because, like I said to you here the last time that I was here, that we have a political spat with South Africa. It's not an indication of that it's devoid, that the relationship is devoid of peace and harmony. It's not internal. The quarrel is not internal. So this meeting, I am delighted at it. It should be productive. It should lead somewhere. They should discuss things that will make the entire Africa to be happy with them. They should be able to occupy that unique position of being called African leaders by addressing key issues that will not just be able to resolve issues between Nigeria and South Africa, but all the African nations, and be able to bring the continent together.
Of course, you talked about relationship, and because some have said that perhaps this strained the relationship, the issues, the xenophobic attacks, but you have pointed out that it didn't, and one would wonder how so. Also, there are also talks about how would this deepen the relationship, because from the way things went, it seems Nigeria is trying, South Africa is trying to appease, Nigeria to, ensure that that relationship remains.
If let me give this example. If you and I were a couple and we're married and we have a quarrel and you go away and I go away, that period of time allows you to look at yourself. What have you done with this relationship that resulted?
That is if I'm being sincere.
Yeah, well. And
I want that relationship.
Absolutely. But in this case, they want the relationship. You will need one another. Even in the statement that you have made, you cannot exist outside of the relationship as a person. So that hiatus, that separation, allows you to look at yourself and ask yourself, what have I contributed to me that resulted in this separation and all. So that's the position they have occupied in the last few weeks, where they have looked at ourselves. And what I said to you here was that we as a country, as Nigeria, and our leadership has failed to look at what I keep repeating. I call it, the power of unfair advantage. And that power of advantage resides in the resilience of our people and our resources are in our people. And I gave you an example this earlier. When you have a citizen of our country provide his airplane to go and evacuate Nigerians, that is a power of unfair advantage. In how many countries it's very rare to find that in Africa, where a man can bring that kind of asset and equity to bear to evacuate citizens
outside of state
outside
funds,
of state.
300 million.
Yeah, at what cost?
Yeah.
That is a great asset that this country has, and we have so many such assets. So that man having led that example, if it happens elsewhere, in fact, no country in this world can try that type of thing anymore against Nigeria, because you know that we have the resources, and other people who have such resources, we put it at the disposal of their fellow Nigerians.
Only Nigeria can do that.
Absolutely.
That's what they say.
Absolutely.
But now, the president, after meeting with Cyril Ramaphosa, President Ramaphosa later today, will also be meeting with the Nigerian community. What do you expect that the president will be telling Nigerians in South Africa when he meets with them later today?
He should be telling them who we are. We are a hard, resilient, hard-working people. We are people that are all over the world, and there's something that we carry with us. We carry light, we carry power, there's something in our DNA that just makes us prosper and all that. That's not to say that we do not have bad eggs amongst us, but that they should be greater ambassadors. They should be good examples of citizens. They should represent us well and all that. And that, by the way, that many of them in that place are doctors, are engineers, are ICT personnel, and that you're doing well and all that. Just generally encourage them
and remind them of who they are, and remind them that home is far away, and that they should work hard to make sure that they bring something and remember their families at home, and carry the flag of Nigeria, and carry it very well and carry it high. That's what it should do, represent us very well. That is the spirit.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chuks Nwoko, for coming on the program right now. Thank you. Right.
Joining us now is a global affairs analyst, Chuks Nwoko. Chuks, good morning.
Good morning, Chuks.
All right. The president will be meeting with Nigerians, and one of the things he will be discussing with them is the government's intent to protect them as much as possible. And when you look at other countries like the US, you understand that when it comes to the security of their citizens, they take it seriously. How do we begin, or how do we look in that area to improve on the security of lives of our citizens outside the country?
Okay. We must start by playing locally. Got to start from home. Charity, they say, begins at home.
Absolutely.
We're going to start protecting our own people here in Nigeria from kidnappers, from, all kinds of people. Now, that also will go back to what I said to you earlier. The justice system must be done in such a way that people are punished for all these crimes. When people are not punished, then so you cannot, what obviously gave rise to what happened in South Africa is because they know what is going on, what was going on here. You have to play locally first. Then people will see what you're doing, that you care about your people, and therefore they will respect your people outside. They will know that if you touch these Nigerians, that their government will react. So it's good that he's out there, but when he comes back home here, he's going to demonstrate the same compassionate leadership and care towards us. The justice system is very crucial in that in the exercise. In the area of provision, you have to provide for the people so that we can minimize the number of people that are going outside there. The issue of water, because when the herdsmen started moving from wherever they were coming from the north to the south, is because there's a global problem with water. When you don't have lush green grass that the cattle can feed on, you take them to. So now that he's in South Africa, they have a major water crisis in Soweto and in some part of South Africa. Yeah. Now we have that in some part of Nigeria. In Lagos here, we also have water crisis. Now the deception is because you think you have oceans there, we have clean water. We don't have clean water. Everybody is drinking from borehole, and that is dangerous. Government is supposed to provide water. I don't know whether you get water from water source. So this is a global crisis, but it can be dealt with locally here in Nigeria, then dealt with at the African continent and in South Africa. South Africa has a major crisis with water. So all this is just working out fine for me, but you need our leadership to be able to knit them together and bring all of that. But you see, it's the citizens that are going to enjoy these things. So if you take care of your people locally, every African nation, everywhere we go to, they will be respected. Our passport will be respected.
All right. The relationship between Nigeria and South Africa has been a love-hate situation. Although some people see the two countries as rivals, other people see it as partners, depending on what window you're seeing it from. But at government-to-government level, it's quite more cordial. But if we narrow it down to one of these issues, the xenophobia that has been on the front burner more than any other issue right now, some people have said, in fact, the ministry, the Deputy Minister of Defense in South Africa has said that no country can really handle the issue of xenophobia headlong in that regard. What challenges do you think the South African government should try to surmount in putting this xenophobia behind once and for all?
Okay. The problem in South Africa, as far as I'm concerned, has to do with the fact that I've not seen that strong leadership that can deal with the issues that have been on ground for many years. Now, you have a democracy that returned about 25 years ago. You have a political party called the ANC. They have to deal with the issue of corruption. The ANC guys are...
Within the party or within the government?
Within the party. It's the party. Except that it's a problem. Once you are able to deal... And at no time did you hear any member of that party make any comment openly against xenophobia and all that. Now, once you have dealt with the issue of corruption within that political party, then you deal with the issue of poverty, and they're able to get their people to work. Because the solution is that they can't just start fighting corruption like us. They need to deal with the issue of poverty. The solution to the issue of poverty is that you need a leadership that will tell the people, go and work. the work which our people went there to do, and they came up with these accusations about drug and all that. It's about work. It's happened in China when the people were asked to return to work, and the Chinese people started fixing bicycles, started growing plants here and there, and they have a tea industry and all that. African youths need to work. There's need for our politicians to work. ANC members need to work. And when they do that, the issue of poverty will be minimized, and that's one way. Another way they can deal with the issue that we have and they have with other people. Then the relationship can be better. Now, there's no problem with having allies. Now, that you have an ally does not mean it's forever internal. You can have a problem.
Yeah.
Then when you have a problem, there will be a time for peace. Now it's time for peace. But you see, it's after we have had this problem.
All right. Thank you very much, Chuks Muko, for your time on the
Thank
program.
you for having me.
Thank you so much.